Hello, welcome to Cataclysm Quick Tip number 33, where we will be discussing jacking and lifting. So in Cataclysm, when you start to work with vehicles, you'll quickly find out that when dealing with wheels, engines, and storage batteries, those tend to be the three problem children, you need specific qualities in order to manipulate those. And jacking and lifting are the two qualities that are necessary. Lifting is a bit of a new addition to the recent experimental line, so if you've been plating older versions and then have upgraded, you might be a little surprised to know that you have two different qualities to deal with now. Wheels generally indicate that you need jacking quality. Engines and storage batteries tend to use lifting. And I'm going to show you some examples of each and the tools to actually get around those requirements. So let's go up and look at my travel vehicle first. So if I examine the vehicle, this is my modified armored car, heavily armored, lots of stuff in it. If I go up to the corner here, go to remove, and point at the 32-inch armored wheel, you can see here that it says one tool with jacking 13 is required. That requirement is based on the mass or weight of the vehicle. So at 14,228 pounds, I need 13 jacking quality. I'm never going to meet that strength requirement, so got to have a jack with at least that amount of jacking quality. If I switch over to the engine compartment, well, actually let's look at the storage battery first. So the swappable storage battery, you used to be able to just grab these in and out with a relatively average amount of strength, but now they're heavier and you need a tool with lifting. That is different from the jacking quality. So you can't use a jacking tool to use for lifting. Or strength 15, which you might be able to get to, but most characters are going to need a lifting tool of one quality in order to remove a swappable storage battery. And then finally the engine. This particular vehicle's got a 6.5 liter V8 engine, and you can see here it also is going to require lifting of one in order to do that. So let's take a look down here at the common tools. So these first three items are the typical jacks that you're going to find or be able to build. This is a makeshift jack, fairly easy to craft, and provides 3 jacking quality, which is only rated up to 3,306 pounds. Next up is the Scissor Jack, 4 quality and 4,409 pounds. And finally the Bottle Jack, which you generally want to grab if you've got the opportunity because it's the best of the standard jacks. 16 jacking quality and rated for 17,636 pounds. Now, that is not quite enough even for this smaller vehicle. Imagine this large vehicle down here, my main base Apocalypse Mobile. So, for 16 jacking quality, I need 17 or more to even lift this thing up. So how do I solve that? Well, that's what we're going to go into in just a moment. But first, let's talk about the lifting quality for the engines and the storage containers. So here are the general materials you can use to craft if you don't happen to find one of these items in a garage. The Pallet Lifter is the smallest one, and you can see here that's able to lift up to 0.5 metric tons. Next up would be the Telescopic Cantilever, which you can use to make the engine crane, and that'll go up to 3.5 metric tons. And then finally the steel boom, and this description confuses me a bit because the steel boom description here says up to 20 metric tons, but when I install it on the vehicle, that description changes to 40 tons. So we'll show you that here in just a second. So here's some examples. This first one is the standard pallet lifter. You can find this in the game world, typically some stores and garages and such. And it's just a foldable light frame, a pallet lifter item, and a 4-inch caster all built into the exact same space. And that would give you the ability to lift the 0.5 metric tons. You can grab it and drag it, and you can also fold it. So you can fold it up, take it with you, put it in your inventory, drop it into the storage of a vehicle, and then use it in a new location if you'd like. Next up, above me here, we have the engine crane. So you can see here, it's the engine crane. It uses a telescopic crane. Still got the foldable light frame and the casters, all in the same space. And that creates a foldable engine frame, or engine crane, and that can lift up to 3.5 metric tons, and it is also foldable, draggable, and so on. And then finally, this last item is a foldable pallet lifter, and I've modified it somewhat. Let me actually activate it here. And you can see it's actually got 2 different spaces to it. What I've done is I've added another frame and a foldable wooden box, and that allows me to remove an engine or remove a storage battery and then drop it right into the box and then drag it along behind me instead of trying to carry it in my arms. Engines are really, really heavy, and if you try to carry it, you're going to immediately drop your stamina to zero, exhaust yourself, and possibly hurt yourself. So with this particular arrangement, you can go ahead and just drop it right into the container and then just drag it along simply and easily to wherever you need it to be. And yes, if you fold it, even though it's 2 spaces, it will fold right up into a nice convenient little spot, and you can take it around with you. Okay, so those are the typical ones. And then finally, in my main Apocalypse Mobile, my really big gnarly one, this thing is super big and heavy. It's almost 12 tons, 35,602 pounds. And on the very back of it, right here in the corner, I have a boom crane installed. And I'm actually going to remove the boom crane for a second. And then we're going to tell it to reinstall the boom crane. And so you can see here, boom crane is selected in that bottom corner location, and here's where I got a little confused because it says it has level 40 jacking as opposed to 20, rated at 44,091 pounds, and it's an all-in-one solution because it also provides level 4 lifting quality, which I believe is the highest you can get, and is rated at 4,409 pounds. So, if you install a boom crane on the back of your vehicle, you will get an all-in-one solution with a massive amount of jacking quality and the highest lifting quality that might be necessary. So, as an example, if we take a look at, we'll do it this way, a V12 engine. This is one of the biggest engines in the game. We'll do a V12 diesel. 683 pounds, so very, very heavy, but the lifting quality is easily covered by most of the components that we've talked about, and that's where that boxed version of the pallet lifter might be useful, because you could just drop that easily into that wood box and then drag it instead of trying to carry 683 pounds in your arms. And to install it, you just examine vehicle, like I just showed you, install, have the different requirements and the steel boom available. And there it is. You now have a boom crane installed, and as long as you have this with you on your vehicle, you can easily use it to perform any functions you might need that require jacking or lifting quality. Now all of these items are craftable, so you can make a pallet lifter, you can make a telescopic cantilever, and you can make a steel boom. So if we go to crafting and look up pallet, there is a pallet lifter component, and it's pretty straightforward metalworking, so you need your standard metalworking tools and welder and such, and then some real basic items. A bottle jack is necessary for the pallet lifter. And then you can also create the telescopic crane, or telescopic cantilever which is used for the engine crane. Again, fairly straightforward parts. And finally, the steel boom, same thing, fairly straightforward. So, all of those parts are craftable, and then you can just assemble them like I've shown you in these configurations, and between these you should be able to solve any lifting and jacking quality problems you run into. Hope you found this information helpful. As always, like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think, and if you have any suggestions for future episodes, I'm always happy to hear from you regarding that, so that we can all help each other survive the Cataclysm. Stay safe out there. Bye-bye.